So I was laying over there, and ever since I took Bufo, which is DMT, I learned that my body remembers. Even if my mind doesn't, my body remembers. And I think that's why I'm such a natural at certain practices without even knowing what those practices are in this reality. And that's why when I read things, I get this like feeling like this is the truth. Because I'm only remembering. I'm not really learning anything new. No, I am sometimes. But when I have that settling feeling, it's because I already know this to be true. And so, anyways, my point is that I was laying over there and I just started moving. I was focusing on my breath and I just started letting my body do what it needed to do. And, I found myself doing a lot of physical, movements that I have seen in spiritual practices that suddenly that just come out of me. And I was working a lot with my feet. It wasn't just hand mudras and stuff like that. You see, I'm not fully conscious. I'm not fully conscious of the movements that I'm doing. My body naturally just does it already, and I have to bring my awareness to it if I ever want to, teach this to other people. Literally. But, so anyways, I think I'm an old soul. I've lived lots of lives. I've had a lot of time to learn all these different things. Again, this life is just about me remembering. And so, yeah, I was doing mudras with my freaking feet. With my hands and my feet. And I was stretching and making mudras with my legs. If that makes sense. I don't know. That's so interesting. So, I don't know what exact past lives I had, but I really felt like I was just doing something I already knew how to do. I just had to let my body do it. The mind gets in the way of so many things. I'm taking that as confirmation. The mind gets in the way of so many things. That's interesting. Okay, so other than that, I experienced something else. And keep in mind that I think that the DMT will come back every single time I breathe deeply, focus on my breath, focus on presence. Because we already carry, I'm using my hands so much, but we already carry DMT in our brains. And so we're just activating it. And I was doing all this outside in the sun. And I think that was feeding my experiences. Hold on, I need to gather my thoughts. Okay, so another one of my experiences while I was sitting out there in the sun is as I had my eyes closed, or sometimes I would intuitively slide them open a little bit because it changed what I was seeing. So I was obviously, stretching and closing my eyes and focusing on my breath, and with my eyes closed, I started seeing all these shapes and they were moving. And it's just so many, I can't even fully comprehend the shapes. But my vision turned to seeing, I'm saying so many times. I started seeing a fly. Like a fly. And, all these little pockets. And they're just pulsating and expanding, contracting, going in, going out. And the colors look like when you look at lights, and you close your eyes, you can see the color spots, right? And so that's what it looks like in my head. And it's just lots of little dots and like things that I'm seeing. I don't I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly. And then now I'm seeing like a beam of light that's like spreading across them. Okay, anyways, I was doing that in the sun and it was just kind of like going crazy. And oh yeah, and then the sun the sun was like going from like light on this side, dark on this side, light on this side, dark on this side. And that reminds me of another thing I experienced, and this is before all that. In my last video, I was just kind of like moving my arms and hands and body, and I felt like my right side was really heavy and my left side felt weightless. And then I was thinking of like why, and it makes a lot of sense because the yang presence, the how do I explain it? Okay, so the right side is our masculine, and the left side is the feminine, first of all. And so if we want to use other terms, this represents God the Father, if I'm not mistaken, and God the Mother. And we could also see this as matter and nothingness, if that makes sense. The void. Matter and the void. And so my body was just naturally going like this. Like I said, like the right side feels heavier than the left side. And as I was laying down, I was feeling that as well. Like I was being pushed down and pulled up at the same time. And as I was doing the mudras and shit like that, it kind of all sort of aligned with that vision of, ooh, the scale. I'm so sorry. I'm so scatterbrained right now. No, I'm not. I need to stop claiming stuff like that. But I have, well, yeah, I have lots of different perspectives changing all at the same time. And then when I went inside, I felt really, really light, and I just had to lay down for a second, and then my left ear started like, I started hearing like a high frequency, and then it traveled to my right side, and then that was like all I was hearing, but it was simultaneously a high pitch and like a low, with a low undertone, and it was when I was sitting in front of the TV, and I was like letting myself experience it for a second, and I was scared that I was going to be hearing that for the rest of my life. But then I remembered something that I learned today, which is that all experiences are temporary, and if you embrace it and allow it to move through you, you won't actually feel the weight, is what I'm hearing. Win for confirmation. I literally have nothing going in my mind now. I feel like I reached the end point of my thoughts. That's so funny. Oh, okay. So once I got up, once I got up from laying down, it took me a while to remember where I left off. Okay, so I got up from the couch. I still felt lightheaded, but also like really present at the same time. And I moved away from being in front of the television, and the piercing frequency got out of my head in that time, which is so interesting. And so now I want to live without TV connected or in front of me at all. And I want to be really careful with electronics. And I've had this realization like several times through my psychedelic trips, and I've become so aware of all the things that the government or the elites, I can't even say it's just the government, the elites, I think of all the ways the elites are poisoning us, poisoning our minds, our hearts, our bodies, and taking care of yourself is the revolution. That is you going against everything they are trying to do, which is kill you. And so, if you live healthily, balanced, they can't touch you. I feel like that's a confirmation for not just me. That's for y'all too. But yeah, I don't know, it's so interesting how I can have psychedelic experiences now without eating mushrooms, without doing DMT. But don't get me wrong, there's nothing like those experiences at the same time. Because like I said, it's like a sucker punch of life. But you have to feel both things. You can't avoid that heavy feeling for a long time. You have to bring them at an even point.